So I would have coworkers at work who would come in. They would tell me about things that their kids were doing and issues they were having at home. And there would be 5 and 6-year-olds, 8-year-olds that would like tell their parents to shut up. And I remember I didn't like going to other people's homes because my children knew what lines not to cross with me. And they also understood that my sole purpose of having these rules and guidelines was to keep them safe. And we would have, like, some people would say, you don't have to explain that stuff to your kids. Yes, because the things you don't explain to them, they can fall victim to, or somebody can explain something to them, and then they'll have allegiance to that person, believing that that person is an authority on something. So if you don't explain it, they're going to get the information from their friends, a teacher, some family friend, somebody going to give it to them. So you better figure out what they need. So we would go to other kids' houses. And there are times when other kids would act out in ways that my kids could never act. Not concerning me. And it wasn't because they didn't have a right to express their emotions. It was because I understood that if I allowed anarchy to take place within them, that society in the wrong place at the wrong time would rip them apart. So I needed them to understand that their actions had repercussions and how things would be seen, not how they reflected on me, but how they reflect on you, and how people will treat you if you act this way with no consideration or disregard for another person. So we had real life conversations. And yes, sometimes we had long conversations. But guess what? Emotional intelligence is not where they struggle. They understand how to express their emotions. They understand how to listen. They also understand that something not syncing up, two people not seeing eye to eye, may need to take a moment of breath so that the two can come back and say, let's talk about this. I love that they are willing to talk about it. Okay, maybe I don't understand. Let's talk about it. That is an amazing attribute to have about your personality. Like, let's talk about it. Help me understand. We can agree to disagree if we still don't agree until something shifts or shows that one of us or both of us is right. Because it can be two different perceptions, but both of them right from the heart space that they're coming from. One person can seem possessive, but they might be overprotective because they were not protected. One person may be too carefree, but that's because they've been allowed to be carefree because they've always felt secure. Like, our critical thinking skills concerning other people sometimes can be laxed because we don't take time to understand things. And that is, if you didn't go to school and you didn't learn how to do critical thinking and use context clues and to allow to wonder and figure out. And I really I love science. Science makes you have to figure it out. If you didn't love science and you didn't like figuring it out, like sometimes people, they don't have really good problem solving skills. So anyway, we would go to other people's house and their kids would act out in ways that my kids, and so they understood it was aggravating for them to watch. They would instantly be ready to go home. They were like, I could have stayed at home and played my game. I don't want to do this. This is no longer fun. My kids, they were like, this is no longer fun. I don't want to do this anymore. The moment it no longer became fun, they was ready to go home. It was like, home is where we free. And so you need to have a space like that where your kids is like, no, home is my place. I don't know what this is. This is turned into some BS. I don't want this. And so when the kids would act out, there are times if I was close enough with the friend and I understood that the friend was okay with me saying something, I would quietly stop their child and say, excuse me, who are you talking to? And the kid would stop in their tracks. Well, you don't understand. I said, I asked you a question. Who are you talking to? And they would say their mom or their dad. And I'll say, did they ask you a question? And they would say no. I said, did they ask for an opinion? Or did they tell you to do something? And they say, well, they told me to do something. I said, then you should do that. And then you should ask, after you've done what they ask you to do, if you can ask a question. Not before. Because they may need you to do what they asked you to do for a reason. And the kid would literally think about it and then go and do whatever it was. I didn't have to yell at the kid. My voice probably did sound very authoritative because I was like, who are you talking to? Who are you talking to is a very good question. You need to learn how to use who are you talking to. You don't have to say who are you talking to from an angry space. You can literally say, well, who are you talking to? Very gentle, like, who do you think you're talking to? Can sound aggressive, but who are you talking to clarifies if someone's speaking directly to you or group. It also brings awareness that that person is now projecting energy out and it needs to be clarified. So you clarify that. So back to the kids, because I love the babies, right? So after that, the child would do what it was that they asked. And then I have had situations where I've said, and when you're done, let me know so that I can check it. That's only with real close friends. Because I understood, I could see someone struggling, but I understood that I was not always going to be there. It wasn't something that I could fix. It was something that in the moment I was bringing awareness to, that there could be something different. And so I said all of that to say, there are parents who have only been directed with aggression, threats, because it was how your parents were directed. And they had to then make a choice how they were going to do it. And normally we do what is innate in us, what we've seen practice, what feels normal. We just do that. Unless we're a person strong enough to say, this does not feel good. Some people are like dead to their emotions because they learned how to do it very young. And so this video is about a couple of things. One, recognizing that the systems put in place are for a reason, but they are not, the systems that are put in place are not beyond informing the people that the systems are in place for, like what the systems are for. If your kids don't know why they're being protected, if your kids don't know that you've been touched inappropriately, you've been harmed in any kind of way, this fear that you have, these strict rules that you have, don't make sense to them at all. When you're telling them they can be anything they want to be, but they can't go off the sidewalk. They can't go to the house next door. Their friends can't spend the night. They can't spend the night at their friend's house. They can't take candy from strangers. You celebrated Halloween. They can't celebrate Halloween because you don't want to hear your parents smile. But in actuality, you're telling the kids, I don't want to have to buy candy. Like, kids know when something is not right. They're not stupid. Kids are smarter than adults. Like, they're so much wiser than us. And then they are the people that we expect to take care of us after we done dumped them down. Like, what kind of bullshit is that? So you get mad because they don't know what to do. What, have they been in practice of it? Come on, man. Like, this, you got to get this. You got to get this. Your children deserve to be able to express their emotions. They also need to understand how you express your emotions and why. Transparency is everything, and it can save some things. You're worried about being judged when all they really want to know is that you're human. Like them. Or just a being.